Okay, we're in the middle of the chimpanzees. Learning about the chimpanzees. I need to know something in English over here. Get the right page. We're going to be learning about the porcupines. We spoke about the Va'adnei Asoda, and there's a lot of different pshatim what exactly the Adnei Asoda is. But technically, the Adnei Asoda is a chaya. As far as, of course, a chaya, it's chaya tmeya. You can't eat it. But some shittas hold that it's actually it has a human figure, and it's just attached to the ground. Others want to say it's a chimpanzee or a gorilla. No. Rabbi Yossi made a statement. Mitamis ba'oil ka'adam. This Adnei Hasoda, at the end of the day, is mitama. I have to take this call. It's very important. Okay, Yashakaya. This Kilayim Mitzvahs. Okay, Zagas and Kultiv. Yeah. So over here, it says that even though this Adnei Asoda has a din of a chaya, still Rabbi Yossi goes and says, "Metamis ba'oil ka'adam." As far as we're concerned, it has a tumas oil, meaning if you consider it a, what is it called? Oh, you had the name over there. The Adnei Hasoda.
Wild men.
No, you had wild men, but you had
chimpanzees, orangutan.
Orangutan. He according to Rabbi Yossi, if you translate this as orangutan or gorilla, according to Rabbi Yossi, it's going to have a din of a chaya, a din of an tumas oil. We know that there's a halacha kizayis min hameis. If you have a kizayis of a person who's deceased and it's in an oil, it's mitama ba'oil. If you walk in that room, you become tamei ba'oil. That's how it works. Of course, when it's talking about bones, it makes a difference of roiv binyan, we're not going into that if it's a skeleton. But even the actual skull is mitama ba'oil. So over here, he comes with a fantastic. If I told you a monkey's mitam ba'oil, that's how you're translating it. You would say, or chimpanzee, call it chimpanzee. You would say, what are you talking about? It's an animal. No. L'das Rabbi Yossi adnei asoda dina ka'odem l'inyan tumas meis. When it comes to tumas meis, we give it the severe tumah of a mace, which is the most severe of all. Because don't forget, a mace has a din of avi avois hatuma, and then if you get in contact with it, you become an avatuma, and you need shlishi and shvi, and you have to have efa para. So it's not like touching a sheretz or a nevela or a behemoth meya. What? Well, first of all, we make exeris mitam ba'oil by a god. Huh? Drabbana? I don't know. Let's see how he explains it. Therefore, lefikach nevlosai mitamis tumasai holim hainu adam akelu hanimsoim imatachas gagecha. If it's under the same roof, it's tamei. Nitbu afshalei kalei nagaboy. Even if he didn't come in actual physical contact with it, kedin nevelas adam, like an adam. Rabbi Yossi darizem in akosif. He says he learns it. The Chazal tell us, this Yishalmi, that he learns it out of a pasuk. Shinemel inyan tumas meis v'chol hashiyiga al pnei asoda b'chalal cherev oy b'meis oy be'etzem adam oy b'keva. Famous pasuk in Parshas Chukas. Gitma Shibas Yom becomes tummy 7 days. Mahamilim al pnei hasoda. What does it mean al pnei hasoda? What does that mean? Yeshlumu chakosav mar begam negeya ba'odem hagodol al pnei hasoda. He learns out with a twist that it means a type of person that's al pnei asoda. What type of a person or being is al pnei asoda? Shaf, that's talking about this adnei asoda. That some hold it's some type of human, like we said, or the Bigfoot, maybe, it's attached to the ground. Shaf hu nit meshivas yom k'moy mishinaga b'stam odem meis. Ukishem shel yintumas maged dina ka'odem shivatam tumas shiva kach gam le'inyan tumas oil dina ka'odem l'tamas ba'oil. Because this goes in unison. If he makes you that you have a tumas shiva, the only way he can make you a tumas shiva is if he's like a mace. So therefore, anything that can make you into tumas shiva has a tumas of an oil. So the only type of situation that you have, only circumstance you have, is only by a mace. Only if it's a mace. Over here you have a new thing. Even according to Rabbi Yossi, even a chimpanzee, if you hold this a chimpanzee, can be with time of a mace. Don't tell it to the zookeepers. He says Taka. The Chachamim disagree, that's the Tanakama. They have other drushes for it. Okay, so let's see over here how he goes into it in more depth. Some say Shlodash Rabbi Yossi Adnei Asod Nidin Ka'odin L'Gabi Kol Adina Behem Cholik Odem Ibalachayim V'Leirak L'Inyan Tumas Meis. That it's not only for Tumas Meis. U'Lefiga Chodash Rabbi Yossi Yesh Issa L'Hargoi. You hear? You're not allowed to kill the Stamasoy Goy. Habol L'Hargoi Hashkim L'Hargoi. But you can't just kill a human being. You're not allowed to murder just because he's not non-Jewish. It doesn't work that way. And therefore, you're not allowed to kill this chimpanzee or gorilla. If, let's say, you eat it, a cannibal, you're going to eat it, you're going to eat the gorilla, you're not going to be over any sinavela. Normally, when you eat something that's not kosher, there's a din nevela if it died. Something that dies, be it a behemoth ta'ira, behemoth tmeya, there's a din of nevela. He says over there, it's considered like if it's dead and you ate it, you're not allowed to eat human being. It's an issa asay. Technically, let's say you have this gorilla and you trained him to be a wagon puller. So, if you say it's an animal, you're not allowed to mix two species. But if he's like a person, you can take a person and put him next to a donkey and let them pull it together. There's no issa of sachish b'shav chamo yachtov on that. So it comes out of kula that you can use this gorilla to go ahead and pull the wagon with the donkey. Like we're going to see later on in the Mishnah that there's no problem of leisachroish when it comes to a human being pulling a wagon together with another animal. This is what your question was. The din of tumas oil is only by a person who's Jewish, and that's a lot of hold, or it even has to do with the Yisrael Shemeis. Rabbi Yossi asoy b'kan shadnei asodim etam b'oil ka'odim b'vad asoy b'shekol b'nei odim etam b'tumazu. According to him, of course, this gorilla is not Jewish. So if he's not Jewish, he still holds that it's metam b'oil. So not only is a Jewish person metam b'oil, because it's a whole shaila if it's gzei d'rabbanim or not, he's going across the board. All human beings are metam b'oil. Kivin shepashin shuad de'asada einam Yisrael, because the non-asad is not from Yisrael, and that will be what he holds. So this is a gevaldige chiddush in this Mishnah, that you have a man da'ama who holds that not only a human being is considered metama ba'oil, even if you want to say if it's a goy, a non-Jewish person. But it's not only human being, but even if he acts like a human being, like we said, that they explained that how can you say it's a chimpanzee or a gorilla because they walk on 2 feet like a human being, they use their hands like a human being. That also has a din of tumas meis. Okay, we go into other types of animals. Now, I need your translation over there. You have the next two is a different other halachis that it's negated to hakupad v'chuldas hasinoyim. One is a porcupine. What's his first one?
Hedgehog.
Huh?
Hedgehog.
I don't even know what a hedgehog is. You should excuse me. Huh?
Looks like a porcupine.
It looks like a porcupine. Okay, a hedgehog and a porcupine. What dinim are they like? What halachas do they have? Because at the end of the day, they walk. The question, there's differences in halacha between a behema chaya, we know is metam b'masa. For example, if you have a dead ox and you're carrying kizayis of it, and you don't come in direct contact, you carry it, you become tamei, right? You become a rishon. The nevela is a av, and you become a rishon, right? Over here, but if it's a sheretz, because don't forget they're creepy crawlers. Shrotzim that are creepy crawlers don't have this halacha of being metam b'masa. So what halacha do we give this hedgehog?
Or weasel.
Or it's called a weasel, okay. A weasel. You have another Gemara in the Gemara Neilim Sis has another name for a weasel. No, but I'm talking about in Hebrew. They have a different. The Lashon Gemara is different. Okay, so but it's a chulda. A chulda is a weasel in Gemara sense. So over here, he calls it a chulda taka. No, you don't see it there. Okay, but it's a hedgehog or whatever. It's a type of animal that has thorns in it. They have these thorns. They're like a porcupine. That's what I call a porcupine. And this porcupine has a din of a chaya. Now, what does this mean that it has a din of a chaya? What does that create? What type of a situation? Kupad hu akipud. Now we know what it is. Shegufay mechusa bekaitzim chadim. It has these needles. Kemachtim. It looks like a needle, like you have on a porcupine. When you touch it, he rolls up in a ball. Kubetzehu min chaya b'shoyna mehakaput shebetanach. It's not talking about a pasuk in Tanakh that you have the kaput shumin oif. It's a type of bird. You have a pasuk in Yeshaya. So he says we're talking over here about a creepy crawler, but even though it's a creepy crawler, we don't call it a sheretz. We call it a chaya. Chuldas hasanim hu min chulda hagodla. He says chuldas taka. A weasel hagodla b'siyach hasneh. It grows amongst the thorns and thistles. The Rambam says it's a type of a fox. He's not 100% sure. So we're not 100% sure what it is, but they look a little bit like the porcupines. So he says they have a certain attribute like a creepy crawler. They have these very thin feet that are like the creepy crawlers. The Mishna teaches us hello. Okay, be well. Have a good day. Bye. Okay. So over here, it has very thin legs that look like a sheretz, like a creepy crawler. V'kol mokim melamedes ha-Mishna she'ein heim nechshavim sheretz el nechshavim chaya. As far as we're concerned, for all intents and purposes, it's not considered sheretz, it's considered like a chaya. Because at the end of the day, as thin as their legs are, they're not right on top of the ground like a creepy crawler, they're a little bit higher off the ground. And they don't creepy crawl on the ground. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference? We know a sheretz is tamei also. Shmeini shrotzim. What's the difference? The main distinction we have is legabi tumah. There's other distinctions also legabi what's mitama, but okay. Over here, mitama bei b'maga bei b'mas nevela chaya tmeya oy tahor shlei nishcha tekidin, a nevelis of a chaya tmeya, or a tahor that wasn't, or a behemoth tahor that wasn't slaughtered and it became a carcass. It's mitama bei b'maga bei b'masa. There's two ways to transmit the tumah. By touching it, if you touch the dead ox that was never geschochten, it's an avail, it's tamei. If you carry it, you're tamei also. V'ilu neveil sheretz ma'osimini ashrotzim shenimnu b'kosuv mitam b'maga bilvad. It only becomes mitam b'maga. Also, me'idach, there's another big. So, which one's the bigger chumrah? Over here, what's the bigger chumrah? The bigger chumrah is if it's a chaya, right? Because it's also matam b'masa. But then there's the other side of the coin. That'll be a kula. Me'idach legabi shurum letamei chama din sheretz medin chaya. You have chumras of sheretz over chaya. What's the chumrah of sheretz over chaya? Neveil sheretz matam b'shir kadasha. Neveil sheretz doesn't need a big shear of a kizayis. It only needs the shear of a lentil. Ve'ilu neveil's chayim metame rak b'shir kizayis. In order to be metame, you need a kizayis. Hamishna led us evu shakuba b'chudas hasina metame b'magam masa. It has the chumrah of being metame b'magam masa. B'shiurim letame, but it has the kula that in order to transmit the tumah, hu b'kizayis kedin chayim. Okay, stop over here. But at the end of the day, this porcupine has a din of a chayim, not like a creepy crawler. Rav Chananya ben Akasha, Rav Shibok Zak Yisrael, Lafik Chiv Lam Torah Mitzvah Shinama Adonai Chofetz, Laman Sidko Yagdol Torah V'Yadir.